What's up everyone, welcome back to your React, but actually we're not doing React really that much in this video because we're actually going to be doing more design stuff, but it's going to be a little bit React because we're putting it inside of a React application, episode 15. So let's get started. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating a banner on this site, and this is going to be our navigation that will, I guess banner isn't quite the right word, because banner is usually like a temporary thing, like, oh, we just released version 2 or something. So I think navigation would probably be the better choice of words. And we have been using Tailwind CSS so far for this series. So as always, we're going to use some of the existing code for Tailwind and modify it to fit our needs. So if you search Tailwind and then Navbar, you'll find something from, Tailwind UI. And Tailwind UI is a paid thing, so basically you can pay to get some like pre-built components that, work really well. And just to show you the difference, we're also going to look at banners versus navbars. So go ahead and go to the tailwindui.com site. We're not going to have to pay anything for this video because there's another thing you should know. So we're going to look at banners. You can see these are banners here. Not exactly what we're looking for. We're looking more for nav bars. So if you go through here, you can find what you like. For example, I really liked this one down here at the bottom, pretty simple. But when you click get the code, it costs money. So we're going to talk about how we can pirate this. No, I'm just playing, no pirating, because the first one on here is free. So if you go up here, you can go to the code and look at that. It gives us everything we need to create this nav bar. Another thing, there's this drop down here. And would you look at that? They make it React friendly. So now you don't have to go through here and change class to class name in 300 locations. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to copy this component. You can see it's just example, so you can go in here and change the name. But there's a nice copy button right here. And don't hesitate to consider purchasing if you want to, try out any other examples. Now, I don't have an affiliate code. I'm not sponsored or anything, so just mentioning that. But Tailwind, if you want to sponsor me, hit me up. All right, enough messing around. Let's get back to the code. So let's go over to our application. I'm going to commit our previous changes just to get everybody on the same page. So I just called this pass component if you want to jump to our location. And inside of our source code, we're going to go into components, new file. I'm just going to call this header.js. Paste their code. I'm going to scroll up. And this actually has the export with the function definition, which you can do, so we don't have to have that export line at the bottom. I'm going to change the name of this to header. Save. Did some reformatting for us. And then let's talk about how we can bring this into app.js. So we'll go into app.js, go to the very top of our code. So where it says return, inside of this div here, we can put the header component. Save. We will need to import this, so import header from components header. All right, let's take a look at our site, and you can see it needs a few modules to be installed with npm. So it looks like headless UI for React and hero icons for React. So we're going to copy this, and we're going to say npm install, paste that, and then we'll do it again with hero icons. All right, those should be installed. They were added to our package.json, and now we should be able to go to our site. There we go. Now I like this one pretty well, but if you're not sure, there's another page where you can get some examples, which is under headers in the Tailwind UI site. So this one will allow for drop downs, which is pretty nice if you have a lot of pages to organize. And they do have a free one here that you can use. I tried this out on another application and it worked fairly well. So here's my example that I was just playing with earlier. Obviously it's not the most beautiful thing ever, but I got rid of the drop downs and just created these without the underline. But I decided that the nav bar just looked a little bit better for what I was trying to do. Sorry, my computer's kind of slow. I'm running everything on a little MacBook Air. So that's one thing. I want to get rid of these underlines. I'm not a fan of those. So let's go over and figure out how to do that. So we'll go into our component that we just created, header.js. Scrolling through here, we want to find the text. So if it's a really long component, you can just search for the text. So we're looking for dashboard. or like team or project or something. So dashboard. Oh, interesting. It looks like they have it defined in an array here. It looks like that array is mapped through down here on line 58. So let's go ahead and try to add no underline, and we will also add it here as well, no underline. So save. Let's check out the site, see if it worked, and you can see the underlines go away. Now we just need to change a few other things. You know, we need to figure out how to get rid of this old guy. Maybe change the logo, so forth. Let's take a look at this image here. So we can find that over in the code as an SVG file right here. So this is the first URL. We can command click or control click. This is the first one. And then we also have this one as well. So it actually appears as just the same logo, just for different screen sizes. And then there is a third image down here as well. Oh, it's the old guy. Anyways, I'm going to get rid of this image for now, as well as these two images. You could, of course, replace them with your own images if you want to go design a logo. We actually just get rid of this section altogether. Let's go back to our app, see how it looks. And to me, that actually looks a lot. What? Oh, that's an input I put earlier, so we can go delete that. We'll just get rid of this here. All right, there's our application. A slight change I want to make to this is shrinking the height of this bar, and you can do that with this H16 here defined in the header. So this is the height. So we'll go ahead and change this to something a little bit smaller, such as 14, and you can see it shrink just a tiny bit. And then if you wanted to change the background color of your whole application, maybe to fit with this a little bit better, or you know, if later on we want to do a light mode, dark mode kind of thing, you can go inside of app. In here we can define a background gray, let's say 300, which will just give us a light gray background, and it doesn't fill up the whole page. So we basically need to tell it to set the minimum height of the app to the full screen. So the way you do that is with min height screen. Saving this, you can see it fills up the entire screen. Like I said, this course isn't about design, so yeah, it might not be the most beautiful thing on planet Earth, but it at least makes working in React a little bit funner, instead of just staring at text on a white background. Last thing we will want to check is if it works on mobile. So the way you can do that is by opening the developer tools and then going to this button right here. That'll put it on a mobile device, and it took a second to kind of refresh, but this is what it'll look like. And then you have this button here, which will drop down these different pages. So if you want, you can add a little bit of margin, might make it look a little bit better. Inside of app, we can scroll down to where we are rendering the components, and inside of here, we can just say margin Y2, and there we go. It scooted it down just a little bit. Let's turn off the mobile preview and see what it looks like. And it looks pretty good. You might want to change the style a little bit, you know, maybe make these buttons gray or change this top bar to some shade of purple. Whatever you might want to do, go for it. At this point, we have the Navbar, but functionality is not there. The links don't work, and we don't really have logic to decide which page is the selected page. So that's what we're going to be talking about in the upcoming videos, as well as how to do routing. So how do we work with different URL paths inside of React? So stay tuned.